Have you ever opened up a tool like Figma and just felt completely overwhelmed? Like, where do you even start? It's so tempting to just learn a couple of tricks, but to really master it, that means building a skill set layer by layer. And that's the real difference between just being a user and becoming a design leader. Today, we're going to break down that exact process using an amazing curriculum from Dr. Vernette Grant as our blueprint. All right, let's get into it.
So we're kicking off with this quote, and I love it because it's so much more than just a hello. Right away, it sets a tone. It's a statement of intent. This isn't just about learning software. It's a path to becoming a leader, a true creator. It's an empowering way to frame the whole journey, and honestly, it gets you fired up to start building.
So this is the big question, isn't it? You can find a million YouTube tutorials on how to make a button, sure. But a real roadmap from A to Z? From clicking around to thinking like a pro? That's way harder to find. That's what we're mapping out today. The logical steps from the very basics all the way to high-level strategic thinking.
Okay, first things first. You can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, and the same goes for your design skills. This first stage is all about getting comfortable in the environment and truly understanding the fundamental building blocks. This is where you start to feel confident, where you really feel in control.
And it all starts right here with frames. Before you even think about drawing a shape or typing a word, you need a canvas. And in Figma, frames are your canvas. Think of them as the artboard for a mobile screen, a website, whatever. Getting a handle on how to use and, more importantly, organize them is absolutely step one.
Now, what's really interesting here is that this isn't just about drawing. Yeah, vector editing is crucial. But look how much of this is about organization, layer management, grouping, file organization. A huge part of the foundational skill is just keeping things clean and tidy from the get-go. It's not just about making shapes. It's about building a workspace that you can actually scale.
All right, so once you've got the basic tools on lock, it's time to level up. We move on to building a framework. This is where you stop just placing stuff on a page and start using those tools with real purpose. You're beginning to craft a cohesive visual language, the kind that's needed for big, scalable, interactive projects.
This comparison just hits the nail on the head. This is the big mental shift you have to make. It's moving from, does this look pretty, which is totally subjective, to, does this communicate clearly, which is about objective user understanding. You're moving past just the surface layer and getting to the strategic core of what design is all about.
So the key here is the word systems. We're not just picking a font, we're creating a responsive typography system. We're not just picking pretty colors, we're developing a strategic color palette. We're using things like grids and auto layout to create order and flexibility. These are the tools that let a whole team speak the same visual language.
And that brings us to the top tier, the most advanced layer of skill, thinking in systems. Honestly, this is the leap that separates the good designers from the truly great ones. It's about getting away from designing one screen at a time and instead building an entire interconnected universe of parts that work together.
The best way to get your head around this is the atomic design principle. It's genius. You start with the tiniest possible parts, your atoms, like a single button or an icon. Then you combine those into slightly bigger molecules, like a search bar. And then you assemble those into complex organisms. It's like building with Legos, a beautifully simple and logical way to build really complex things.
And this is the whole point. This is the mantra. When you think in systems, you create these reusable components. And the magic is, you fix a mistake or make an update in one place, and poof, it updates everywhere across your entire project. It's the ultimate cheat code for efficiency and consistency.
Now, if components are the Lego bricks, then design tokens, well, they're the DNA. I know, design tokens sound super technical, but the idea is actually simple and so powerful. It's just a central spot where you define your core design decisions, like your brand's main blue color. That way, every single component references that one single source of truth. No more guessing.
Okay, so we've designed this beautiful, scalable, super efficient system. We're done, right? Not even close. What good is a system if it just sits there looking pretty? The next critical phase is all about application, making it move, making it interactive, and getting it ready for the real world.
Because let's be honest, in today's world, a flat, static image of an app is basically useless. People don't just look at products, they tap, they swipe, they interact with them. So you have to be able to show how things feel, how they move, and how a real person is going to navigate from one point to another. And this is that process in a nutshell. You take those interfaces you built,
and you start wiring them up with interactions and animations. This lets you build out and actually test entire user flows. You can find problems long before a single line of code gets written. And then the final step is packaging it all up for a super smooth handoff to your developers.
So after climbing all the way up this pyramid, from the foundation to the framework to the system to the application, what's the final payoff? What does it look like when it all comes together? This is where we see true mastery in action. It looks like this: a single, big project where you have to use everything. And as Dr. Grant's teaching shows, you don't really master something until you can actually apply it. A capstone project, like building a mini design system for a real product, forces you to put every single skill we just walked through to the test. It's where the theory becomes reality.
And that brings us to our final thought. This whole journey has been about learning to see design as a system. But the exact same thinking applies to you, to your own growth. Your skills aren't just a random checklist of things you can do, they're an interconnected system. So the question I want to leave you with is this: how are you going to build, connect, and scale your own system of skills?